Chapter 15. Be Strong, Part 4. IUKG is sitting overly comfortable in his office, unaware that his life is about to crumble. He's surrounded by beautiful women and sipping his sake as the women do everything in their power to suck up to him and get as much money out of him as they can. It's at this peaceful time that the door bursts open. Boss. Boss. You dullard, I told you not to interrupt me. But, before the man can even give the beginning of an explanation, the capital's police force enters the room and stands very formally. Iju squints his eyes. What are you punks doing here? I'm paying you more than enough to. That's when he spots Ikyu Madoka and Naruto standing behind the police. IUKG, you're under arrest under suspicions of collaborating with terrorists and the attempted murder of His Highness, Lord Daimyo. They forcefully grab him and put him in handcuffs. Iju stands up, spilling his drink. What? Do you people even hear what you're saying? Unhand me this instant. Madoka, you runt, you think you can get away with this? I'll have your head, you hear me? Sorry, KG, but you won't be worming your way out of this one. We found more than enough to lock you up for a lifetime. They take him away, screaming and shouting, until his voice can no longer be heard. Naruto turns to Ikyu. Will he really be locked up for good? Ikyu shrugs. Honestly, I don't know who he has in his pocket. A man like him has connections. However, this time Lord Daimyo himself was put in harm's way, so I doubt he'd wiggle his way out of it. And it's all thanks to your girlfriend. We tracked where those people she captured had been, what they'd done, who they'd seen, and it all got back to KG. You've my thanks. It's really Hinata who should be getting all the thanks. He grins. I was hoping to do that, but where is she? Taking care of something else. Or someone else, I should say. Hinata POV. During the raid on KG's establishments, Hinata and Katori are leading Tsunade and Shizune, now dressed in her normal robes, through the poorest part of the capital. The ruined shacks, the mud paths, the people dressed in rags. It really was a sorry sight to behold. They stand in front of one particular shack and enter, pushing aside the dirty rag that hangs in front of the door. Inside, they see Okamiru taking care of his mother. Once they enter, he spins around expecting to see KG or his men harassing him again. To his surprise, he sees Hinata and Katori. Rather, he's not surprised. He's been expecting them to show up at one point or another. Even he's not sure whether he wanted them to come or not. He grips onto Katori's clothes that he's still wearing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll pay everything back, I promise. I'm sorry. He gets down on his knees, tearing up. Yui tries to stand up, but finds it difficult to prop herself up. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Tsunade enters the shack as well and gives Yui a look over, gauging her condition. Lie down. Yakamaru looks around in a panic. Please, I promise I won't do it again. Hinata leans down next to him. Yakamaru, it's fine. Lady Tsunade is the best medical ninja in the world. I asked her to come take a look at your mom. Her soft voice reminds him of his mom's before she fell so ill. He looks up to her. But why? Because we want to help. That hasn't changed. Katori steps closer, looking shyly. I'm sorry. I don't know what you've been through. It must have been a lot. But it's gonna be fine now. Grandma is really good, or at least I think. I don't really get it. Tsunade looks over Yui with her mystic palm, healing chakra washing over, Shizune helping her from the other side. Who are you? Yui manages a pained whisper. I'm Tsunade, the 5th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. Yui jolts up, but is held down by the older woman's monstrous strength. Not that much strength is needed to keep her down, weakened as she is. The Hokage? Why? I'm not worth. Don't finish the sentence. Someone very dear to me asked me to help, so I'm here to help. She places her hand over the woman's forehead. Why are you in here? Why haven't you been checked into a hospital? Can't afford it. My husband tried to get money, but she looks over to her son who's still being comforted by the woman and child she saw before. He died a year ago. I see. I'm sorry. Tsunade closes her eyes. She's all too familiar with the pain of losing loved ones. After a moment's pause, she sighs and opens her eyes. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not in good condition, although you probably know. I might be able to treat you, but not in this shack and not in the capital. They don't have the right gear. I'd have to move you to the Hidden Leaf, but moving you in your condition is. Yui places a hand on the older woman's arm. Her skin is cold and her fingers bony. Please, you don't have to worry. Just having someone like you here is more than enough. If I just may ask for my son to go to the Hidden Leaf. His father had a Kekkei Genkai. He has it too. At least he should live a good life. Yakamaru tears up and kneels down next to his mother. No, Mom, you're gonna make it. It's gonna be fine now. Soon after, Naruto and Ikkyu make their way to the shack. Ikkyu looks around in shock. So this is the place you mentioned? This is the legacy KG left behind. Yeah. Naruto looks around and greets those present. Katori clings to his leg. This is exactly what I want to change. We treat our own like this, but we act superior to shinobi. It's not right. Sanada looks from the corner of her eyes. And yet this is the reality of it, Madoka. Well, it's no reality I want a part of. I intend to change it once I become daimyo, and until then, I'll do everything in power. I'm in a position where I'm able to, so I don't plan on wasting it. Naruto brushes Katori's hair while looking at the woman being healed. You think you can do it? I know I want to. Isn't that how old dreams start? Naruto cracks a smile. Alright, then. How about this? You and I keep working on our way and fix the shinobi world and non-shinobi world, and when you become daimyo and I become Hokage, we'll unite our worlds and become better than it ever was. Ha, you think you can do it? I can't. But we can. The two smile at each other and shake hands. Deal. Sanada can't help but smile hearing his word. A promise he made to her all those years ago is seeming more and more like a reality with each passing day, and he's making good friends along the way. Yui turns her head. That boy, is he the one you mentioned? The one precious to you? Yeah. How did you know? Oh, it's just, Yui looks at the Hokage with a genuine smile that even Yakamaru hadn't seen in a while. You looked like a mother just now. A giant smile comes across Shizuna's face. Not a word, Shizuna. Yes, ma'am. The aide chuckles. Sanada stands up, stopping her chakra. I'm taking you to the Kaukan Inn. From now on, you're under my supervision until we can figure out a way to get you to the Hidden Leaf safely. Yui goes to speak up, but is quickly interrupted. And don't even think about protesting. Hearing this, Hinata and Naruto share a look, and both have a look of understanding. Naruto walks over to Tsunade. Hey, Granny. If we need to get to the leaf quick, then I can just use my reserve summoning. The toads have a pond nearby, so it'll be a lot quicker. Reverse summoning? Huh, how did I not think of that? Alright, we'll make preparations to leave soon. We're done here, anyway. Yui and Yakamaru are moved to a room in the Kaukan Inn, adjacent to where the shinobi are staying. The staff tried to protest them being there, but quickly changed their tones once Ikkyu Madoka told them to get it done. His name carries a lot of weight. Although they still had to steer clear from most of the inn, which wasn't an issue because they wouldn't be staying long anyway. In the Uzumaki room, Yakamaru is holding a pouch containing what he took from them before. He looks down while presenting it. I don't have the other things, but I'll make up for it somehow. I promise. Naruto takes out a pouch of his own. Oh, you don't have to. He tosses it up and down, causing it to jingle. I took them back when KG was taken away. So nothing was lost, right? He grins. You can keep that. Think of it as a present. But I stole it. I shouldn't. Hinata leans down and brushes his hair. He doesn't flinch like before. Yakamaru, I could have chased after you or stopped you when I heard you leave. You've lived a rough life, and it's admirable you want to make up for it. But you're not alone anymore. We'll help you. When he starts crying, Katori gives him a big hug. Now we can be good friends, yeah? He sniffles. Yeah. In a private room of the Kaukan Inn, an odd group had gathered to catch up on old times. Naruto and Hinata were sitting together as usual, with Sora and Sasame joining them on the table. Sasame, it turns out, is a lightweight. Her cheeks are already rosy, and she's lying on the table. Man, would it have to be, the land of woods? The few Makolda joined the Leaf and we Kolda gone on missions together. Naruto offers a sympathetic smile. It definitely would have been good to have an old friend join them. Yeah, it sucks we won't see more of each other. It's to be expected. Sora takes a sip of his water. Not only the attackers being from the land of fire, but the daimyo's daughter and the Hidden Mountains leader being in love, the odds were against us. Hinata refills Naruto and Sasame's drinks. It is a shame, but at least we know the merging of the lands will be an easy one, given their relationship. We know they'll take care of each other. Sasama still sulks. I mean, yeah, I'm happy for her, and love is great, but still. And hey. Me and Hinata are out on a mission to visit every hidden village in the other 4 great nations. So if the hidden mountain joins the alliance, we might see each other more, you know? As an exchange. Oh that's right. She springs up. The other villages have ambassadors, right? Maybe I can be that for the hidden leaf. Her big smile turns more focused and serious as she squints her eyes at Hinata. Is something the matter? Sasama grumbles. You're really pretty. And crumbles back onto the table. Oh, thank you? She blushes. You take good care of her, Naruto, you hear? Sara pulls her drink. I think you've had enough. Sasama rises and swats him on the shoulder. Don't tell me when I've had enough, I'll tell you when you've had enough. She stops. The 4 of them would spend the rest of the night chatting away, catching up what everyone's been up to over the last years and what they intended to do in the near future. It put Naruto at ease to catch up with old friends and see that they're doing well. After meeting up with the old friends, Naruto and Hinata were met in the corridor by a very serious Tsunade. Naruto, come with me. She places a hand on his forehead and uses her mystic palm to sober him up. She sobers up Hinata too, while she's at it. Huh, what for, Granny? It's a Waji Uzumaki. Oh, he lightly squeezes Hinata's hand. I'll be back soon, alright? She returns the squeeze. Take your time. And gives him a peck on the cheek before going to their room. Sanada leads him to a different private dining room where a Waji is already seated along with 6 other individuals, an older couple seemingly in their 40s and 4 younger, from around Naruto's age to around Konohamaru's age. The older man and the 4 children have varying shades of red hair. Sanada and Naruto take a seat opposite of them. Awaji takes a sip from his drink, the same calm demeanor as before. Before we begin, allow me to introduce my family. As stated before, I am Awaji Uzumaki of the Uzumaki clan. This is my son, Akashi Uzumaki, and his wife, Kaikyo. They each bow. And these are their children. My granddaughter Michi, my grandson Sen, my granddaughter Saki, and my youngest granddaughter Asuka. They go from eldest to youngest. Michi and Saki bow, Sen looks disinterested, and Asuka looks distant, but gives a lighter head nod. Sen leans to his side and whispers to his older sisters. Is that the guy? Doesn't look all that. Michi reprimands him as quietly as she can. Don't be rude. Their mother glances over from the corner of her eye, which gets Sen to straighten and not interrupt. I believe now is the time to answer what questions you may have. I have my own I'm curious about, but… Sanada looks to Naruto, waiting for him to ask. Like, where do I even begin, you know? I've never known any other Uzumaki besides my mom, and even her, I only saw a fraction of. He grips his pants. I know the hidden whirlpool was destroyed cause other nations were afraid, and the Uzumaki clan was scattered. So why now? Let's start with that. Awaji strokes his graying beard. Why now, huh? Well, if you know what happened to the hidden whirlpool, that makes it all the easier. Our 2 villages held great respect for each other. We are distantly related to the Senju clan, after all, and always had good relations. That's why you have our symbol on your sleeve. Awaji points to the armband that became customary for Chunin and Jonin to wear, depicting the symbol of the hidden whirlpool village. However, many feared our power and our relationship. We were an easier target, and without us, the hidden leaf lost a powerful ally. Had the hidden leaf taken us, they would have faced retaliation. So we ran, hid ourselves where we could, forsake our name. Sanada is leaning on the table, listening. So now you've grown tired of hiding? He nods. The world has changed as we spoke. He looks back to his family who share a nod. And decided that hiding is no longer necessary. We already have the daimyo's permission, so we only need yours. We would like the Uzumaki clan to officially join the Hidden Leaf village. Sanada pinches the bridge of her nose. You know it won't be that simple, even if the 5 great villages are at peace, right? I am aware. We're willing to facilitate the process however necessary. Although given recent events, I don't believe the other villages would object to a master sealing user of the Uzumaki clan. He looks pointedly at Naruto, or maybe within him instead. Naruto forms the seal for his shadow clone and one appears next to him, but rather than the deep blue eyes he usually has, this one has blood-red eyes and more prominent whiskers. The Uzumakas are startled by the sudden change, but Awaji remains calm. The 9-tailed fox, I presume. The name is Kurama, Boy. Don't forget that. You Uzumaki are so. He clicks his tongue. My apologies, Kurama. I never would have expected you to have a name. We've never known it. You've never cared. I should know, 3 of your clan were my hosts. Lady Mito and young Kushina. I remember when they set off to the Hidden Leaf. He closes his eyes in reminiscence. It feels like yesterday. Gramps, you knew my mom? And even grandmother? Why yes. Lady Mito, the beautiful and powerful kunoichi that she was, there was not one person better suited to house the 9, sorry, Kurama. I'm not ashamed to admit, the adolescent me had a crush on her, as did many others, but I suppose none of us were a match for Hashirama Senju. He chuckles. And Kushina was powerful in her own right, even at a young age. She was but a child, but already burdened with great responsibility, but she took it on herself better than most adults would. That's all well and good, but there's a different past we should be reminiscing about. Much more distant. I'm curious about that, as well. Sanada perks up. Surely you've heard of what happened in Kusatsu town on the border, and in the Hidden Cloud. She turns to Kurama. Great beasts, I believe you named them. Kurama nods. Remnants of a bygone era, before the Uzumaki clan was even called the Uzumaki clan. I'm afraid that to that, I do not hold the answers you seek. I do know the secrets of the great beats my ancestors sealed away was taken from the ruins of our village. By who, I do not know, but they are certainly no ally. Gramps, can you seal them back again? Not let them roam free. I can certainly try, however this is old knowledge. Older than I know. Akashi, Awaji's son, speaks up for the first time. Father passed on the Uzumaki clan's sealing techniques, and I, to my children. We can share our knowledge with the Hidden Leaf and be better prepared for the coming threats, especially if they use our clan's secrets. Sanada rubs her chin. I won't disagree with you on that. If it were up to just me, I wouldn't have a reason to say no. But as you mentioned, the Uzumaki clan was a source of tension back in the day. I'll bring it up at the next Kage summit. Thank you, Lady Tsunade. Awaji bows. I'm aware of the identities of other members of our clan and have kept contact with many of them over the years. I would ask to bring them along, as well. Seriously? There's even more Uzumaki out there? Naruto nearly jumps to his feet. More than you'd probably think. Although what worries me is that many have disappeared suddenly or refused to keep contact. I cannot be sure of their status. Very well. Sanada stands up. Make whatever preparations you must, and I'll do the same. Awaji stands up and the two shakes hands. Naruto does the same. It was a pleasure to see that Kushina's son grew up to be such an outstanding man. I couldn't be prouder. Thanks. That means more than you could know. With the negotiations over with, all the shinobi were free to return to their respective villages. The Land of Woods left after some additional talks with the Land of Rice Paddies, which would be continued at a later date, but some preliminary things needed to be agreed upon. Currently, they're a day's travel out of the Land of Fire's capital and taking a short break. The daimyo's litter, essentially a small box big enough for a person to sit in while being lifted and carried by 2 to 4 people, was set to the side while the daimyo looked over the landscape with Kitamaru and his most trusted shinobi, Mizushi, Kuga, and Kikyo. Takeshi is nowhere in sight. A smile creeps across her face. So the deed is done. With this, the Land of Hot Waters is as good as ours, as well. Kitamaru nods. Everything went rather smoothly. Kikyo is sitting down, hugging one leg. Especially that sword through your chest. Mizushi sighs. You honestly gave me a scare, you know. Did you have to actually get your heart pierced? Their leader smirks. Whatever for. 2 of the best medical ninja in the world were present. My life was never in any danger. And any lesser wound wouldn't have required the attention of the Hokage herself, thus endearing me even more in Lady Makoto's eyes. The daimyo runs her fingers through Kitamaru's hair and presses her body against his. Don't dare her lady in my presence, Kitamaru. No, I'm only barely tolerating you being with her. When will you be rid of her? Kitamaru doesn't move at the invasion of privacy. Not sooner, it'll look suspicious. Years need to pass, perhaps marriage and a child. The daimyo's grasped his hair between her fingers. If you do have a child with her, then it dies when she does, understood? I will not allow a child of yours to exist that isn't mine. Her tone is threatening, but her visage is never anything other than serene and gorgeous. Of course, Lady Yugiri. She leans over to lovingly kiss him on the lips. She breaks away and returns to her litter. Kikyo and Mizushi turn away for the duration, not really wanting to stare. Kuga has no problem staring. When she leaves, they turn around to find their other comrade, Takeshi, present. As usual with him, they never heard or saw him. Takeshi forms a set of seals, and a very familiar blob of chakra appears from markings on his hand. IJUKG, as requested. Kidomaru performs the same jutsu and absorbs it into himself. Kuga has a hand on her hip as usual. Why do we even need a second-rate criminal like him? IJUKG is one of the few who might possibly know it was us who ordered the attack on the palace. I'm not taking the chance, so I'll assimilate his memories and find out. The rabble that actually attacked all thought they were doing it out of patriotic duty to cleanse the land of fire of Orochimaru's twisted legacy. Pitting the rogues and bandits to attack the palace during negotiations and working on Lady Makoto for the past few months and getting yourself nearly killed while protecting her, all of it paid off quite nicely. Takeshi's expression is unreadable from under his mask. Was there ever any doubt? Kidomaru smirks and turns to his daimyo to continue the journey back home. The Hidden Leaf Ninja are already home, returning via being swallowed by a toad and transported to the village. Needless to say, Yoi and Yakimaru were surprised and they're still not over it, but it passed quickly enough. Yoi is already in a hospital room of her own, ready to be treated for her illness. Sanada and Shizune will personally oversee her operation. She's currently in bed, with her son staying by her side, along with Naruto, Hinata, and Katori. Yoi looks to the Leaf Ninja. I can't thank you enough for all of this. It's more than I ever could have dreamed of. Don't mention it. It's the least we could do after getting involved. We couldn't just leave you guys be. She caresses her son's head, much cleaner than he's really ever been. And so is she, actually. One of the first things the medics did was clean her up. But are you going to be fine on your own? Lady Hokage said it'll take a while for me to heal, and I'll still be bedridden for a long time. Yeah, I'll be fine. I managed fine enough in the capital, so I can manage here too. And I can learn to be a ninja. Don't worry about me, mama. Hinata steps forward. Actually, I wish to ask you concerning that matter. We spoke and with your permission, we'd like to bring Yakimaru with us and train him to be a shinobi as our apprentice. Both the Kagatsas have a surprised look on their face. Yakimaru is the first to speak. Seriously? Can I? Yoi props herself up very lightly and says in a slightly more argumentative way. I can't ask you to do that. After all of this, I can't possibly expect you to be Yakimaru's teachers. Please don't burden yourselves anymore. It's fine. We've already decided that we want to, and Katori especially wants him along with us. I gotta warn you, though. We're going to set off and travel a lot. It might be a while before you can see each other again. But that's so much. Yakimaru turns to her. Mom, please? I promised you I'd be strong, and someone's gotta teach me, right? I can't learn on my own. Katori stands next to her bed as well with equal excitement. Yeah, Miss Yoi. Mom and Dad are really good teachers, and they're really nice. You won't regret it. Yoi looks between the two kids and, at least in her eyes, the two older kids. She sighs. With enthusiasm like that, how could I refuse? Don't be a burden on them, Yakimaru. I won't. Yakimaru beams and he and Katori hug, jumping up and down as the adults smile. The boy turns to Naruto and Hinata. I'm in your care, sensei. End of chapter 15.